Hey guys, hi, it's me again. This time the tutorial is going to be based upon sultan earrings. The concept of making a sultan earring is based upon a Mughal king's hat. The designer, who is from Hungary, the main designer of these earrings was from Hungary. I don't know her name, but she made these cool earrings. And when I searched for her, there was no clue of her name. But still, the basic concept of making a sultan earring is based upon a Mughal king's hat during the 19 or the 1870s or whatever, like in real old age, people used to, or kings used to wear hats that looked actually like these. So this is the reason why it's actually called a sultan earring. I love the idea of these earrings, so I thought, why not give it a try to make a tutorial. It's really fun and easy to make. This was my very first attempt. In these earrings I used 6mm glass faceted round beads, some 6/0 seed beads and some 10/0 seed beads. In these I used same 6mm faceted round glass beads, some 6/0 seed beads and some 8/0 seed beads. I think these are really nice. My friend calls it a UFO earring. If you have seen UFOs in movies or in commercials, you must have seen that the UFOs actually look like these old-aged UFOs. She called it UFO earrings. Anyways, these are really cool and fun to work around with. You will actually need a very little materials. So this is the sample that we're going to make today. I use 6mm glass round beads and some 8/0 seed beads and some 11/0 seed beads. So the list of materials that you will need to make one part of a pair of earrings is some 8/0 seed beads, some 11/0 seed beads. You will also need some 6mm, not some, actually you will need 10 beads in order to make one part of earring. You will need a 12mm round bead. This bead here, it doesn't have to be of the same color, because this is the bead that is going to stay inside, okay, to make it really tight to work around with and easier to hold on to. So it doesn't have to be of the same color, you can use any bead, okay. And you will need can you see? Yeah, you will need a head pin, a ear wire, line 0.06, pliers and cutters to trim off your head pin. So this is all you need in order to do a part of a pair of earrings. So this is the one that we're going to do today. So get your materials together and we'll get started. This time again I'm going to go with the video in one go, so you please cooperate with me, guys. Okay, in the first case we're going to pick up 8 beads. You will pick up 8/0 seed beads. Take them down to the end of your thread, leave a tiny bit of tail and go through all of the beads. In this way. Now, tie a knot at the very end so that the 8 beads that we just picked up form a circle in this way. Okay, now go through one of the 8 rows. Oops. Go through one of the 8 rows in this way. I'm coming out of this bead here. I'll pick up 1, 2 and 3 beads and go through the same bead in this way from a downward to upward motion. Go through that. You will have this. Now, leaving that bead, you have to go into the second bead. Actually, what we are doing is we are forming right angle weave over here in the circle. So if this was our first right angle weave, like this is 1, 2, 3 and 4, we have to do a same thing over here. If we will be continuing with this bead over here, we need to pick up only 2 more beads, because this right angle weave here is going to be formed with the common seed beads in between. So I'll pick up 2 beads. The first time it was 3 beads, this time it's going to be 2 beads. Go through the first seed bead that we added, the first count bead, like if this was 1, 2 and 3, if this was the first, second and the third, we go through the first seed bead and then also the next seed bead that is over here. Okay, so that when you pull, you have another right angle weave next to the first one with a common seed bead, this one, common one in between 2 sets. Now go through the third bead. You're going to pick up 2 beads again, pick up your common bead and go through the next bead. Pull. So we have like 3 sets of right angle weave now. 1, 2, 3. We go into the next side bead that is there. Pull tight. Pick up 2 more seed beads. Go into the 2 seed beads in this way. Also the third one. Can you see this now? In this way, I went through this bead, picked up 2 beads, went through this and the side bead continuously. So when I pull, I'm already into position to start off with my 2 new beads. So I'll be picking up 2 more beads, go into this bead and the bead that we are supposed to go, and into the side bead again. So this was the one which is the common bead, this is the one through which the right angle weave is going to be formed, and this is the bead where we are actually supposed to be coming out of to do another set of right angle weave. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to tell you. So we're coming out of this bead, we're going to pick up 2 more beads, go into this bead, the common bead, then the one that we were supposed to come out of, and also the next side bead. So this is the common bead, this is the bead that we are supposed to come out of, and this is the bead that we have to come out so that we can do another set of right angle weave. So pull your threads. Now pick up 2 more beads, 8 rows, go through this bead, the common bead, the bead that we're supposed to come out of, and the side bead. Okay, at this point here I wanted to show you something. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beads on the outside of our circle. So this is going to be the last bead. So what we're going to do is, if you can notice, these are the common beads. This these are the common beads. So if this and this were the common beads for the last right angle weave, then we would have to come out of this side bead. At the last set, we're going to have 2 common beads, and we are actually going to pick up just 1 arrow seed bead, and we'll go into this bead, the middle bead, this one, and to come out of this bead, so that we now have this. We have 8 beads on the sides. Okay, we are supposed to be coming out of 1 outside bead, so I'll come out of this bead. Okay, yeah, so we're coming out of this bead. We're going to do the same thing but using bigger beads. So let me get my glass balls over here. We will need 8 glass ball beads. 8. Pick up a needle, a pearl, an needle. We're coming out of this bead over here, so we'll go from a downward to upward motion in the same side bead. Okay, now at this point here we are also going to be continuing doing our right angle weave using the same technique that we did the first one with, and this time it's also going to be taken into account the common beads. Okay, so going to the second outside bead. So if we are to follow the same pattern, these and these, like these two, are going to be our common beads. So if we're going to go in this direction, this is going to be our common bead. So this time I'm only going to pick up an needle, a pearl, and I'm going to go into that same common bead and the bead next to it. The common bead, the second outside bead, and also into the third outside bead. Remember, we have 8 outside beads, so we are into position to do the same thing again. Pick up an needle, a glass ball. Here the middle or the common bead is this bead, so we're going to go into that bead, the third outside bead, and also the fourth outside bead. Okay, now move your work. We are into position to put on the fourth pearl, so I'm going to pick up an arrow seed bead, a 6mm glass pearl. We're going to go into the common bead, the fourth bead, and come out of the fifth bead in this way. Again, we are into position, so I'll pick up an needle, a 6mm, go into my common bead and the fifth bead and the sixth bead. Outside beads always. Holding onto your pieces. Pick up an needle, a 6mm, go into the middle bead or the common bead, the sixth bead, and the into the seventh bead in order to start off with our next round. Okay, Same thing we're doing. Pick up an 8-0, a 6 millimeter, and go into the common bead, the 6th bead, and the 7th bead in this way. The outside bead. I'm sorry, the 7th bead and the 8th bead in this way. Pull tight. We have only one more pearl to attach, so what we will be doing is this one and this one are the middle beads for the last round. So this time we are not going to pick up any more 8-0. We go into the middle bead, which was the very last, or the bead that we added when we were starting this row, the first bead, the 8-0. So we'll go into that bead. Oops. And we are only going to pick up our 6 millimeter and come out of here. I'm also going to go into the middle bead and the bead that we came out of in this way. Go into one of the pearls. The first part of our work is ready. We are going to do the second part of our work, which is actually easy also. So we're coming out of this side of one pearl. So we're going to pick up 3 8-0s and go into the same pearl in an upward to downward motion. If you like to work in this way, you could go and work in that way. Actually, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to work in this way. So I'll pick up 3 8-0s and go into the same pearl. Okay. Now, go into the next pearl as well. Pick up. Oh, I forgot to tell you. This time also we're going to do the same thing. We are going to repeat the same process, but we'll also keep an eye on the middle bead. So first time we added 3 beads. The second time it's going to be 2 beads. 2 beads. Go into the middle bead. If this was the middle bead, I'm going to go into that bead and the pearl. Now pick up. Okay, I came out of here. I'm going to go into the next bead, 6 millimeter. I'm going to pick up 2 more beads, and I'm going to go into the middle bead, the pearl, and also the side pearl to start off with the other direction that my work was supposed to be working around with. If you'll see, you are forming a dome shaped already. So I'm going to pick up 2 more beads and work my way through the middle bead, the pearl, and also the side pearl. Pull your work. I'm going to pick up 2 more 8-0s. Go into the middle bead, the 6 millimeter, and also the next pearl. Pick up 2 more. Go into the middle bead, the pearl, and also the next pearl bead. Okay, in this way. Now, again you have to pick up 2 8-0s. Go into the middle 8-0 and the pearl and the next pearl. Sorry, my brother distracted me actually. Anyways, I'm gonna pick up 2 more pearls. Shit, yeah. Pick up 2 more 8-0s. Go into the middle 8-0 and come out of the pearl bead. Yes, I made a mistake. I have to come out of the bead. I forgot that this was actually the last bead of my round, so I needn't come out of that. Okay, I'm gonna do that again just because I have to work my way through in one go. Anyways, remember we were coming out of this bead. So if this was our last bead, we needed to come out of the middle bead, which was this one. So come out of the middle bead. If this is the middle bead for this pearl and this side is the middle bead for this pearl as well, we are only going to pick up one 8-0 seed bead. So we're going to go into this pearl, this 8-0, this 6mm, and pull tight. Don't worry about the thread that you're seeing, it will eventually hide. So now just hold your piece in place. Take your glass pearl, that is the 12mm, and if you can see, you'll see there are beads on one side or the top portion, and there are middle beads as well. So this is actually the bead that's going to keep our beaded sultan in place. Okay, so we're coming out of this pearl. We need to come out of the side bead. I'm going to go into one bead here, the 8-0, and come out of this 8-0. Okay, now I'm going to hold my work in this way so that it's easier for you guys to see. Remember, this is the middle bead of this pearl. Okay, wait a second guys, let me show you clearly. This bead here is the middle bead for this pearl. Okay, I'm coming out of this bead. This is the very last step of our work. So we're going to do a right angle weave over here. So I need to pick up 3 beads in order to do a right angle weave. So I will be coming out just because my thread is coming out in this direction, I'm going to go in an opposite direction and pull tight. Okay, so here we did a right angle weave for this pearl. Again, this time we're going to do the same process, and I'm going to go into the next side bead of the next pearl. So this bead over here, this bead is the middle bead for this pearl. If this is going to be the middle bead, this is going to be the common bead, isn't so? If this is the middle bead, this is going to be the common bead. So this time now I'm going to pick up 2 more 8-0s. Go into the middle bead and also the side bead and pull tight. So we created 2 right angle weave with a common bead in between. Go into the next pearl bead. Let me hold that piece of work nicely for you guys. So this is the middle bead for this pearl bead, and this is the common bead. So I'm going to pick up 2 more beads, go through the common bead and the middle bead and pull tight. And I'm also going to go into the next top bead of the next pearl. So this bead over here is the middle bead for this pearl. So I'm going to pick up 2 more beads, and this being the common bead, I'm going to go into the common bead and the top bead of the pearl, and I'm going to move forward into the next top bead of the next pearl. Hold your 12mm in place so that it doesn't move. Now we're going to do one more. Pick up 2 more beads, go into this bead, the common bead, the top bead of the pearl and also the next bead which is in top of the pearl, so this one. Again I'm going to pick up 2 more eidos, go into the middle bead along with the top bead and come out of the next middle bead of the pearl. Pick up 2 more eidos, go into the middle, the common bead, the top bead and come out of the next top bead. So if you guys are watching closely, this is the last bead, this is the last 6 millimeter. So if this being the middle bead, this being the common bead and this being the common bead of the other side, we only need to pick up just 1 more eido. But before doing that, we need to come out of this bead as well, because this is the side bead of the next round. I'm going to pick up 1 more bead, go into this side bead, up through the top bead, go up through the right side common bead and then pull tight. Before you go anywhere, make sure that the hole stays in place. Now I'm going to go up through the first side bead and then I'm going to go through the 8 beads that we just added. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 and close your work. So this is what we have. The same thing we did to the first side, we repeated in the second side as well. In order to put my hole of the 12 millimeter in place, what I'll do is I'll put my head pin in place. Now I'm going to go around the same 8 beads or the same eidos in order to have my beads in place, so that we formed a round again at the end of it. Now we need to do the embellishment part to our sultan. So we're going to go into these 2 beads, now it's time for the 11 O's. We're coming out of this bead that is in between the pearls, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 4 11 O's, go into the top bead, go down into this side bead and come up through the eido that is in between the 6 millimeters. Pick up 1 2 3 and 4 beads and go down through the next or the down eido. Go through these 2 beads, pick up 1 2 3 and 4 and go up through this bead. Come down through these 2 beads and do the same. Pick up 1 2 3 4 and down through these beads, up through the 2 eidos, 1 2 3 and 4 and up through the next eido. We're just basically filling in the gaps that is between the 6 millimeters. Go down through these 2 beads and pick up 4 more beads. Come down up through the two beads. Up through the 8-0, down through the 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and down through the 8-0. At this point here, I'm gonna fill in the gaps that is between these places, because we don't want the 12 millimeter to shine through our beadwork. So what we'll do is we'll pick up 2 more beads and we are just going to fill in the gaps that is seen between the 8-0s. So I'm just filling the gaps with 2 11-0s in between each set of bead. This is completely optional. If you don't want to do it, if you have a same color bead in between, then you wouldn't mind just leaving it the way it is. But in my case, I don't like my beadwork to show threads, so I'm going to fill in with beads. Now once this is done, we're going to do the same thing to the top portion. So we're going to go into the 8-0, and the 11s, and into this bead. To keep my 12 millimeter in place, I have this head pin ready. At this point here, you can cut off your tail. Yes, that's out of the way. I'm gonna fill in the gaps on the top portion. So do the same. Pick up 2 11s and just fill in the gaps between the 8-0s. If you don't like doing that, just leave it the way it is. But what it does is it actually covers up the whole amount of thread that is actually seen while making these earrings. I can give you one more option. If you don't like using such big earrings, or you don't like wearing them, you can always make these earrings smaller by using small side beads. Just make sure that you use 11-0s and not 15s. Well, you can use the 15s in order to decorate your earring, but don't go any further than 15. So my earring is actually completed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the thread and tie a couple of half-hitch knots. Go into some of the beads, pull 2 more knots. Okay, in that way. Now I just cut my thread, and there you have a sultan beaded earring, or you can also use these beads to make other stuffs in there as well. So I'm going to take my head pin, pick up my 6 millimeter, go into my sultan, pick up the last 6 millimeter. Well, this is causing me a tiny bit of problem. It's okay. Now, in order to attach your jump ring, you press this here, trim off a part of your head pin using your pliers. Just bend it a tiny bit, put in your ear wire, and then just close your head pin. There you have a beautiful, nice and dome shaped beaded earring. Oopsie, sorry. Anyways, so these are the earrings that I wanted to show you how to make. You could use different colors of beads. You could also use 6mm or 4mm bicones in places of the 6mm round beads. You can always use different shapes of beads in order to make these. These are really cool, and you can also search in Google for other new designs on sultan earrings, or you could always check the sultan hat on Google. So that's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed and learned a new stitch today, and I know my videos are not so clear, but if you really like this one, I would like a thumbs up from you, and please subscribe to my channel for updates on more videos. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.